This is Rama Screen, and in the celebration of Blade of the 47 Ronin, which is already available on Netflix and also on Blu-ray and DVD, I'm here talking with the star of this new film, Anna Akana. How are you, Anna?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me, Rama.
Good, good, good. Thank you for taking the time. And first off, just as an Asian American, I just want to say thank you for representing us out there. And it's a rough town, Hollywood, and but you guys are doing really well. All right.
Yeah, it's so great to finally be at a point where, you can have multiple Asians in a show or a movie and it's not a whole big deal.
Exactly. Congrats on this new film, by the way. I watched it recently. Very action packed,
Mm.
which is obviously not a new thing for you because you did Raikou on Jupiter's Legacy. But tell me, what is unique? What is unique about playing Luna, the character Luna? And are you as much of a wisecracker as Luna is?
I yes, I think I'm a bit sardonic in the same way that Luna is with my close circle. But what was really special about being able to play her is she's very in line with my stand-up persona. So I do YouTube as well, and on YouTube I'm much more bubbly and effervescent and hopeful, but stand-up is really where I get to express my sort of like darkness and shadow. And I think Luna was very much in line with that. Very wry, very sarcastic, very tongue in cheek. And so it was great to really utilize the 13 years that I spent on stage with comedic timing and coming up with punchy lines to be able to really incorporate that with Luna.
That's right. You are a comedian, you are an actress, you are an author, and you are a YouTuber. Like, was it always the plan to wear these many multiple hats?
Oh, no, I think I just, I was just trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and find out what hit. And I get bored very easily. So I really wanted to play around in different platforms and mediums.
Now, I interviewed Ron, who directed this film, and also I interviewed Mark Dacascos many times. Great two guys who've been in this business for a long time. Ron himself is also an actor. A lot of people say that directors who are actors can work better with actors on the set because they know what it's like. So, tell me, what's your collaboration like with these two legends in our community, Ron and Mark?
I mean, Mark is a fantastic co-star. He just when the camera starts rolling, he turns on. He's like a completely different human being, and that was very inspiring to witness. And he gave me a lot of great advice, just in terms of what it was like to be in the business for so long, what to keep my eye out for, the kind of attitude I should have. He basically like told me not to get a big head about anything because this industry has a habit of you're the product. Even this interview, I have to talk about myself all the time for work. And so I think it's really easy to get a big head. And Mark was really great about reminding me to always stay grounded, to stay committed to the craft, and give me the advice he's had from, 3 decades or more in this industry. And in terms of working with Ron, like our communication styles are just so in sync. Like I can trust Ron. I could be like, is it communicating well? Like, what do you think? What do you need me to do? And he can be very direct and straight with me, which is the kind of directing style I like. Sometimes, you have a director who's a little bit more vague and abstract, and they're like, think about this time in your life. And I'm like, so do you want me to cry? Is that what you're asking me to do? And they'll be like, yeah, yeah, cry, just cry. And I'll be like, okay, got it. And so Ron is very direct and almost kind of like an athletics coach because of his background in martial arts. So we spoke the same language, and there was such an ease on set with him.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and of course, Mark in person is very bubbly. When
Yeah,
the when he's on screen, he's like all serious. That's a very fantastic actor.
yeah.
Well,
It's so funny to see him like laughing and then go
yeah,
just so seriously switch immediately, and you're like, whoa, I'm in the presence of a movie star.
love the guy. Love the guy. Now,
Mhm.
we can't talk about this movie without talking about, of course, the fight scenes. There are plenty of them. Your character Luna is more of a new kid on the block sort of a deal, and she gets her own Rocky Balboa training montage. So, looking back, when you watch this movie again, do you kind of wish that you've gotten more action scenes, or is that something that you kind of accept because of the nature of the character Luna?
You know what, Rama? Thank you for bringing that up. That is my one gripe with the movie. All my action scenes were cut. And I understand because Luna is the fish out of water, right? She has a training montage, so she has to learn how to fight. So it made sense in the edit for them to nix all of Luna's fight scenes except at the very end. But there's a stopper ship scene where Teresa and I are fighting with like a broom that was actually like 4 times longer. They ended up cutting it after 4 beats because they were like, Luna wouldn't know how to
Oh,
fight. So yes, I do wish that all my fight scenes made it in, but we're all here in service of the story, so I guess it's okay.
But take me through the preparation. Did you and your co-stars go through a grueling physical training beforehand, before shooting? What's that like? What's that training like for you?
So I consider myself to be very athletic.
Hmm.
I was weak compared to the rest of the cast who are wushu, Teresa Ting's a wushu champion. Mark Dacascos started off as a tumbling athlete champion and now does action movies for a living. Mike Moe, Bruce Lee from Once Upon a Time and also Bruce Lee in real life. Yoshi Sudarso. Everyone was so much more physically agile and adept, and it was inspiring. But I also, half the time I was like, oh no, am I injured? Because I would push myself so hard to be as good as everyone else. We had training for 3 weeks, 5 hours a day, usually. Half of it was stunt choreography. But these people, Rama, it was insane. They would do an hour weightlifting workout, and then they would do
Wow.
like a bunch of like sword training, martial arts stuff. And then we would do rehearsal. And then Dustin and Mark would go hiking afterwards. I was like, you guys are working out for 7 hours a day every day. How are you not laying on the floor? So I was the weakest link in terms of physical capabilities, and thank God Luna is supposed to be like the rough fighter and not as good as everyone else, because they just blew me away. I've kept up with martial arts in the year since we've wrapped, because I was like, I can't be the weakest link ever again.
Yeah, it sounds like they're walking, talking human Red Bull. That's
They
amazing.
really are. Yeah, a very apt metaphor.
Now, we're not going to spill spoilers here, of course, on whether or not Luna turns out to be the descendant, but perhaps you can give us a hint on is there any other is there any plan for another 47 Ronin movie? Is there going to be a sequel after this?
I mean, we technically are a sequel, but we take place 300 years in the future
Of
compared to
course.
Daddy Keanu Reeves. I'm hoping we get another one. We made it to number 3 on Netflix upon our premiere, our debut, which was amazing. So we've all been emailing and pressuring Universal to create another sequel for us. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Now, I want to switch gears. Since it's the first time talking with you, this is the first time my viewers see you. I want to switch gears to your YouTube channel. You are a successful YouTuber with over 2 million subscribers. I'm jealous. I wish I had that same amount of subscribers. So I'm curious, chicken or egg type of question, which passion came first, the acting or the vlogging?
It was definitely acting. I kind of ended up doing YouTube out of necessity.
Hmm.
So, back in the day, YouTube, all of the primary stars were Asian American. You had Community Channel, Ryan Higa, Michelle Phan, Happy Slip, because we had no real representation in any other medium. And so,
Hmm.
in YouTube's inception, everyone being able to create their own content, Asian American communities flocked to people who looked like them. You could watch Wong Fu and see an entire short film where every character was Asian American. And before, we had to watch Japanese films or Korean films in order to see ourselves really represented on screen in a predominant way. And so I actually started making YouTube videos when I was doing stand-up comedy, because my brother was an avid fan of YouTube. And I figured, well, I want to be an actress. I'm working on acting, I'm auditioning, and maybe this is a way for me to really take control of my career and create roles for myself, create work for myself. Because also, I was a horrible actor when I started, Rama. I was
Oh,
terrible.
I don't
I
believe that.
I was my first acting coach was like, "You're a robot," because
Oh.
feelings were very unsafe. So I wanted to start making YouTube videos as a way to understand like how I think I'm projecting emotion versus how I actually look on camera. And I think honestly, doing YouTube for 13 years is what really, really helped me understand acting, because I would think I was communicating something and then I'd watch it back on screen and be like, I don't look like that. I'm feeling that at all. But they've kind of gone parallel and tangential to each other and grown in their own different ways. But I love YouTube because it really gives me the chance to be myself and to feel in charge of my career, to put messages out into the world that I love. And then as an actor, I get to be just one cog in the machine. I show up, I do my job, I play, I have fun, and then my job is done after that. So they both mesh really well.
Well, the rise of TikTok during the pandemic kind of changed the game, didn't it? I mean, like it's all about shorts now. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think about that? And do you feel like you're spreading yourself thin
Oh man,
sometimes?
I've been spreading myself thin for 7 years, Rama. Every new platform. There's Vine, and then there's
Right?
Musical.ly, which became TikTok. And I know it feels like every platform is trying to be the other platform, like whoever's doing the best, they just try to copy. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to just like talk shit about social media the whole time, but I do think as long as you can create a healthy relationship to a platform, it can be wonderful. And out of all the social media platforms, I will say TikTok is the only one that I leave happier than I arrived. So
Oh,
I have a really great For You page, I think.
I saw some of your videos. They're very awesome and entertaining. You know, your dating advice,
Yeah.
advice about makeover, about the hot girl walking one. I mean, it's hilarious.
Thank
I'm
you.
just cracking up now. So how often do you upload, and what's the next topic will be? Do you think?
Oh, well, on YouTube, I upload every Thursday, and then I also put that content on TikTok. But TikTok, I make a video whenever I feel inspired. I've been doing a lot of book reviews to sort of cement everything that I'm learning in my reading, which has
Mm.
changed the way that I read books for the better, I think. And anytime I watch a TED Talk, I try to condense it down and make it into a TikTok. Just I know that on TikTok, what I love to consume is content that gives me value, content that teaches me something, and so I try to put out that same energy into the world.
So what advice can you give me, a small YouTuber, on how I can increase my viewership and subscription?
I will say TikTok is the easiest platform to grow on right now because they're really built for growth. I find Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything is kind of fractured. It's really hard to grow on those platforms, even if you have an existing audience. But
Mm.
obviously, hopping onto TikTok trends, releasing once a day, going live once a week, any platform will reward you for utilizing its features, which is hard because you're like, I have a full-time job, and now you're telling me I also have to have all full-time jobs for all these platforms. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of work, but in my experience, when I put in the work is when I reap the rewards, particularly with social media.
As I'm winding down, I gotta ask you this. You know, it's gonna be a little tough. I was a huge fan of Jupiter's Legacy.
Oh,
I
I
was so sad when it got canceled, especially
know.
with your cliffhanger. So,
I know.
what was your initial reaction when you heard the news that Netflix was not going to renew the show? What do you feel that Netflix made a mistake by doing so?
I mean, I know that Stephen S. Knight, who I adore, and Netflix had some creative differences on set, so he ended up leaving the series midway through filming. So I think there were just some discrepancies in vision. And so I think
Mm,
that the series ultimately kind of suffered from that. I obviously was devastated when the series wasn't renewed because actually my death at the end of season one is a fake out.
yeah.
And I was supposed to become a series regular for season two. And it was, I don't know if you've read the comic book. The comic book is brilliant.
Mm,
It's like superheroes meets Shakespeare. It's like Succession, except with the family business is, killing bad guys. And Raikou was supposed to team up with her cousins, the younger generation, to take down Ben Daniels, my dad. And so I was so looking forward to getting to do wire work and flying in the air in a green screen, and I never got to do any of that stuff. So I
mm.
was sad, but what's meant to happen will happen. So I let it go and I give it my peace.
Do you at least get to keep Raiku's costume props home? No. Oh, okay.
I have Luna's boots though, so
Ah,
I have her boots in the series, so that's great.
that is great. Definitely. So, a final question. What do you think are the challenges for us Asian Americans in Hollywood today?
Ooh, I think the challenge right now, in my experience, is being able to tell an Asian American story where it doesn't matter that you're Asian American, where that
Mm,
is not part of the story. Because even to a certain extent, as much as I love Blade of the 47 Ronin and how much representation it gives, it's still like, a big part of it is that they're Asian, is that they're part of the samurai clan, and that it's a cultural thing, which is beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with telling cultural stories, but I think the next step for our representation journey is for us to be able to be in stories where being Asian doesn't matter at all, where it's not part of the plot point, where your cultural background is not an integral part of the story, and where we get to just see ourselves as the protagonist in every different kind of genre, having a human experience, which is, it's great to see all of that happen in the last 13 years. Because when I started, the industry was pretty overtly racist and not ashamed about it. So now everyone's kind of, making slow incremental strides towards being more conscious about that. So I'm very excited to get to support films in which I can root on Asian American characters that are just living their lives and having human experiences.
and maybe someday you get to write and direct that project that you
Yeah,
spoke of.
working
Yeah.
on it. We'll see.
All right, for my fans at home, everybody go check out Blade of the 47 Ronin, available on Netflix, Blu-ray, and DVD. Anna, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Rama.